This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The For the People Act, Democrats' sweeping election reform bill, fell to defeat in the Senate, dealing President Biden his first major legislative loss. Congressional reporter Carrie Murakami reports all 50 Senate Republicans voted not to end debate on the bill, leaving it 10 votes shy of the 60 needed to invoke cloture and overcome the filibuster. Democratic leaders also billed it as a way to overturn election laws adopted this year in Republican-led states. Critics said the laws would make it harder for minorities to vote. Republicans said there was never a chance of passage in a 50-50 Senate, and Democrats didn't make any serious overtures to work with Republicans on a bipartisan bill. Maine Senator Susan Collins, one of the chamber's centrist Republicans, said the partisan bloviating over the bill revealed what the legislation was really about. She and other Republicans criticized the idea of Congress overruling states' ability to decide how to conduct their elections and which anti-fraud measures to adopt. Speaking of elections, in Michigan, candidates are looking to oust vulnerable Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer as her handling of the COVID-19 pandemic has made her a top target in next year's election. Seth MacLachlan reports the governor caved to pressure to apologize last month after she was photographed seated in a restaurant with at least 12 other people without masks, a violation of Michigan's ban on gatherings of more than 6 people. That came after other faux pas, including taking a private jet to Florida to visit her father at a nursing home. Whitmer's approval rating among Michigan residents slipped from 58% in February to 50% in May, but the numbers were still solid for an incumbent governor. Michigan's COVID-19 restrictions were lifted on Tuesday. Carl Nassib's social media video announcing to the world that he was gay took just 59 seconds, but the Las Vegas Raiders' decision to come out, making him the NFL's first active openly gay player, was years in the making. Sports reporter Matt Parris reports before Nassib, there was Michael Sam, a 2014 St. Louis Rams 7th-round draft pick who came out just before the draft, only to never play a snap in the NFL. Before Sam, there was Jason Collins, the former NBA center who came out a year earlier. The list of gay men who have acknowledged their sexuality while playing professional sports, team sports especially, is short, but those trailblazers no doubt paved the way for Nassib to add his name to the roster. On Instagram, Nassib said he didn't come out to draw attention to himself, but rather because representation and visibility are so important. His decision was met with an outpouring of support across sports and elsewhere, and Nassib's number 94 has been the top-selling jersey on sports apparel site Fanatics this week. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. For men who had little money throughout their lives, smuggling seemed like an easy way to profit. They don't see themselves as cogs in a multinational operation, but rather as poor farmers or laborers in need of money. Stephen Dinan looks at their plight in the third story in a 3-part series on smuggling at the southern U.S. border. Smugglers talk about ailing parents or families counting on them to make ends meet as reasons that they get involved. Virtually all of them say they had no forethought about the dangers to themselves or to those they were smuggling. It's a refrain echoed by others whose smuggling ventures go catastrophically wrong. Although smuggling deaths are rare, they become more common during this year's migrant surge, with drownings, exposure to the elements, and vehicle crashes as the leading causes. The Department of Homeland Security announced Operation Sentinel in late April to target smugglers. The State Department, FBI, and Drug Enforcement Administration are also involved in the effort to identify smugglers, strip their travel visas, and freeze their U.S. assets. And finally, tensions on the Russian border with Ukraine are already sky high, and analysts say Russia is trying to destabilize its neighbor by turning locals into Russian nationals. It's unclear how many passports Russia has issued to Ukrainian nationals in Ukraine's culturally divided eastern region, but locals and analysts estimate that nearly 500,000 Ukrainians have received the small, reddish diplomatic booklet, some against their will. Russia recently alarmed Europeans with a major troop buildup near the Ukrainian border. Russian defense officials said it was a training exercise and withdrew many of the forces, but the tensions linger. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.